Namaskar and a very good evening to everyone present here. I, Abhilash Senapati, Registrar Records, High Court of Orissa, extend my heartiest greetings to all our honorable guests, Advocate General of Odisha, Deputy Solicitor General of India, Secretary, High Court of Bar Association, Office Bearers of the High Court Bar Association, members of the Bar, judicial officers, officers of the registry, members of print and electronic media, and all the dignitaries present today at the inauguration of free Wi-Fi facility and the e-inspection facility for the advocates in the High Court of Orissa. On this august occasion, I humbly welcome Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, along with the companion judges of the High Court of Orissa. My lords, our heads bow down in gratitude for your lordship's gracious presence on this august occasion. We are indeed fortunate to have my lords amongst us on this resplendent occasion and thankful for sparing their valuable time despite such busy schedule. We are also fortunate to have amongst us Sri Justice Subhashish Talapatra, Judge, High Court of Orissa and Chairman IT and AI Committee, along with Sri Ashok Parija, Advocate General of Odisha, Sri Dharanidhara Naik, President, High Court Bar Association, Sri Chittaranjan Swain, Secretary, High Court Bar Association on the dais. May I now seek permission of the dais to kindly declare the event as open. Thank you, sir. The event is declared open. Now may I humbly request the Secretary, High Court Bar Association, Sri Chittaranjan Swain, to kindly present the welcome address. Sir.
Namaskar. Good afternoon. I, on behalf of the High Court Bar Association, welcome to our Honorable Chief Justice, Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Justice Subhashish Talapatra, Honorable Justice Subhashish Talapatra, the Chairman of IT and AI Committee, and Advocate General Sri Ashok Parija, President of the Bar Association, Sri Dharanidhara Naik, and other judges present of the dais, senior advocates, friends, ladies and gentlemen, electronics media, and officers of the registry, law officers of the Advocate General. We are delighted to know that Honorable Chief Justice has been going to inaugurate the Wi-Fi facility and the e-inspection facility for the learned members of the High Court Bar. As we know, the Wi-Fi facility available for the learned members access points with provision of 100 Mbps dedicated internet lease line have been installed all over the High Court campus, including the Bar Association halls, for seamless use by multiple users. The members will available the facilities in order to operate their smartphones and their tabs. Equally, we are happy to know that the Honorable Chief Justice has been pleased to facilitate the members of the Bar Association for inspection of the records, inspection facility, which will be launched by Honorable Chief Justice. We are thankful that our Honorable Chief Justice is going to inaugurate and giving us this benefit of the service and avail the same for all the members of the High Court Bar Association. We are extremely thankful to him for giving us the facility. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the welcome address rendered in this occasion. May we now request the President, High Court Bar Association, Sri Dharanidhara Naik, to address the gathering. Sir.
Honorable Chief Justice Dr. S. Muralidharan, Honorable Justice S. Talapatra, Ashok Parija, the Advocate General, Chitaranjan Swain, the Secretary of the Bar Association, my lords present here, the Deputy Solicitor General Sri Padhi, officers of the Advocate General Office, senior advocates, friends, brothers and sisters. It's a nice occasion where, in fact, today at 1:30 we took the charge, the new body took the charge, and at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, I consider this a first gift from my lords, from the Honorable Chief Justice, through the new body to the Bar Association. Thank you, my lord. Internet subscription for 100 people in the rural area of Orissa stand at 34.51%. It is 88.98% in case of the urban areas. When the subscriptions to internet is at such a low rate, access for internet to the advocates within the High Court premises is a blessing. Taking into account the geographical diversity of the members of the bar and the surrounding circumstances in which they are carrying out their professional duties in the High Court of Orissa, access to the free internet system is commendable. Lawyers without any proper private internet connections can now have access to the same amount of data, information as that of others. Thus, there will be substantial decrease of knowledge gap amongst the lawyers in the bar. In addition to this, essentially to internet will help lawyers in channelizing their time and will decrease their professional workload when it comes to when conducting cases, drafting petitions and researching for the same. Case laws and journals will be available at clicks, for which earlier tons of hours had to be spent. However, the usage of internet in the bar must be conducted in a regulated manner. The subscription of a data-based such as Monopatra, SCC Online, All India Reporter must be devoid of the monopoly so that the same can be accessed by members of the bar who are unable to afford them individually. The access point of such database, that is the availability of computers, has to be in ratio with the numbers of the members of the bar as well as numbers of lawyers attending the honorable court on a daily basis. Lawyers, especially young lawyers, have to keep in mind that the availability of a free internet is not to free passage to access the social networking websites and spend more time on electronic gadgets. The use of Wi-Fi services must be lawful use in the facility, and the necessary steps must be taken against dangers of data theft, hacking, and other possibility of other cyber crimes. I request for the setup of the help desk within the court premises for the assistance of the members of the bar who are not adept to the using of the internet service or who might face any difficulties in using the facility. Lastly, I express my hearty gratitude to the Honorable Chief Justice and to the Honorable Judges of the High Court, and other judges of the High Court, and all the members who made the access to the internet possible on behalf of all the members of the bar, High Court bar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable thoughts on how Wi-Fi facility will help advocates in a great manner. May we now request Advocate General of Odisha, Shri Ashok Parija, to address the gathering. Sir.
Honorable the Chief Justice, Justice Talpatra, Honorable Judges, President of the Bar, Secretary, other office bearers, and my dear friends. Today is yet another historic occasion for our High Court. Chief Justice Muralidhar came in January 2021. We were all in the midst of COVID-19 and most of us were working from home, and I used to find out what is happening in the campus. I was told he's moving around all the canteens around, those tea shops, and he's upgrading the tea stalls for the benefit of the lawyers. I don't know whether any of you remember this or not, because so many bigger things have happened thereafter that smaller things have been forgotten. And from then you had e-courts, you had e-libraries, you had digitization, you had now a beautiful museum, and ably supported by a wonderful team. Not only his brother judges stood by him, but I must also congratulate the registry for having put up their hands. Now when I look to my front, I see all these judges who are sitting here. Justice Sadangi, take Justice Sadangi. He comes to I have attended so many functions. He says, I have gone from this bar, I am going to come back to this bar. And I see Justice Talapatra also, he has become a part of ours. We are a big family. You see, from 10:30 to 4 you are judges, we are lawyers, but after that, end of the day, we are a big family where the Chief Justice is the head of the family. And I was the president of this bar in 1617. Wonderful Chief Justice, Justice Vinit Saran. But he had constraints. He had several constraints. The secretary came to see me yesterday. I said, when I used to go to Justice Saran, I always went with my vice president and secretary, and he used to ask me, what do you want? I said, I want nothing. You know what I want. How can I have a demand with the Chief Justice? I mean, that's not done. Justice Sadangi must be credited for revival of the old building. That old building was all dust, and he sat there. Justice Saran called me, Chief Justice Saran called me. He said that we want to open a few more courts that side. I said, you do it, there will be no problem. Then a few courts started. One day we had gone to see him. As usual, he said, how are you going from this new building to the old building? We said, we are taking the outside route. Justice Sadangi calls me the next day, did you meet the Chief Justice and tell him anything? I said, I have never said anything to him. What he has done is, he has himself come at 4 o'clock, seen how the lawyers are going from one building to the other, and he opened the gates which was there between the two buildings and said lawyers will go. The point I am trying to make is that every Chief Justice as the head of the family knows what the bar wants, and Justice Muralidhar is exceptional. I wish I was the president during his Chief Justice. And when I look at the judges sitting in front of me, to me, all of them look like they are still members of the bar. In fact, I appeared before a division bench today, and one of the learned presiding judge, the senior judge, said, I'm teaching him to be a lawyer, to be a judge. I said, he's just gone from us a couple of years back. Give him some time to go leave us. It's not so easy. So I congratulate the Chief Justice, Honorable Justice Talapatra, all the honorable judges, and I hope Mr. Dharani Naik has been given a wonderful gift for on behalf of all the lawyers, all the members of the bar. And I am sure with whatever time that is left for my Honorable Chief Justice, the bar will get more and more things. He has been after me for a few things, and let me tell you, it will be done to the best of my abilities. We will do it. I know he will announce it shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your insightful thoughts on how today is yet another occasion for the High Court of Orissa and how it is a historic one for the High Court of Orissa and for the High Court Bar Association. May I now have the privilege to request my Lord Honorable Chief Justice Subhashis Talapatra, Judge High Court of Orissa and Chairman IT and AI Committee, to address the gathering. Sir.
Honorable Chief Justice, Justice Muralidhar, Mr. Ashok Parija, Advocate General Orissa, Mr. Dharanidhar Naik, newly elected President of the Bar Association, and Mr. Naik, also Swine, Secretary of the newly elected Bar Association, my brother and sister judges, senior advocates, and the members of the High Court Bar Association. It is a wonderful association that we have assembled for a purpose. It is not a purpose, it is the upgrading our standard in a way, because we have planned that time, particularly of lawyers' time, should be utilized more meaningful way. Because most of the young lawyers, we are also very young at the bar, we know the difficulties of a young lawyer. So we have taken a decision a few months back that we must try to make the free Wi-Fi campus, which will cover all the lawyers who are practicing in this bar association. And also just try to have an hassle-free inspection of records. So our team has worked on that, and today is the occasion, what they have done. There will be a short video presentation, we will see how it will operate. I think still I am a lawyer there, because every day when some lawyers argues before me and every one of us, first of all, we think as a judge, what would we have done if we are just in that position, how would have argued the matter? And on the basis of that, we usually put some questions. Why you are not asking? Why you have to answer to these questions? It's a wonderful experience. Still, I am very, feel nostalgic about the practice days, and every one of us, of course, because it is so colorful. Now, what this service is all about, I will say one or two lines. Justice Muralidhar will be telling about also. The free Wi-Fi means whenever you come to this court, you have to not burn out your data. This is number one, whatever you search. You search the certain, now we'll be providing all the important these sites, starting from the Supreme Court site to the National Judicial Data Grids, and we have also incorporated like Monopatra and other that will be available for search, and Indian Kanun, those are the free database for the legal research, and we'll get the bar and bench, live law, those will be free in this site if you want to access. You'll get the free access to their website, you can get the very recent and up-to-date legal news through this database. You can do your research in your off time, sitting on your Android phone, tab, iPad, everything, laptop. For this, you can enjoy as much as you can enjoy this data. This is not will be spent from your own pocket. So please utilize this, and as long as you can, there in this compass, you can utilize this. Next, that the chapter 23 of the Orissa High Court rules. Very recently, we believe this will be a matter of past. This section or the chapter 23 of the High Court rules is for inspection. And most of the lawyers feels very reluctant to apply for inspection. The application will be there will be time will be appointed, and you'll go, then you will find from the concerned officer the record has not reached, come another day. So it has created a lot of reluctance in the lawyers, even if they feel that I should inspect the records. So those days will be past. Now the system will, you will just ask for the inspection, a date will be given, and a particular 2 kiosks will be there for the present, and you can inspect these records. Hope that within a very short while, you can also inspect the records from your own machine. That will happen very soon, but we have certain security measures that you would keep those in position, that will happen. Moreover, that we'll be trying to do in our High Court, that this Orissa High Court judgment, converting into the word system and a search engine for finding out the Orissa High Court judgment in the relevant judgment like any other sites, so that you can easily find out the old judgment starting from 1948 onwards. So this is a huge work we'll be taking on then, and Supreme Court has already started about the SCRs. At least they have 77,000 SCRs reports are already there, and you can search through the word search and find any relevant judgment from the Supreme Court website, and that will be also available through this Wi-Fi system. So we are trying to just prepare ourselves for the next generation and ourselves for the future. Future throws so many challenges to us. I find very happy when the young generations are finding out the technology-aided office at their small office at home. Because in our time, we had need to have a very huge space for keeping the books. Now, books are the matter of past now. You threw in a laptop with a database, either you subscribe to the free database, you can manage this space and very comfortably do the research. So this Wi-Fi system, free Wi-Fi system will provide the further opportunities, and we should talk less now this occasion. I'm inviting the younger generations to give the robust step to raise the standard of the bar, standard of the lawyers at such a level that the country should envy the Orissa Bar Court members. Thank you everyone. Welcome to this new system. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my lord, for sharing your valuable thoughts and explaining the process and advantages of the e-inspection facility and how the free app Wi-Fi can be used by advocates. May I now request Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, to inaugurate the free Wi-Fi facility. And the e-inspection facility, sir. Thank you, my lord. May now seek permission from the dais to screen a short presentation on the free Wi-Fi facility and the e-inspection facility.
High Court of Orissa is striving hard to make the access to justice more accessible through technology, not only for the litigants but also for the advocates. Advocates are an integral and important part of the justice delivery system. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the advocates of the High Court supported the initiatives of the High Court of Orissa by participating in the virtual mode and kept the wheels of justice rolling. And till date are using technology to access the e-initiatives provided by the court to provide better service and ensure justice to the litigants. Today, in a historic step, the High Court of Orissa will be inaugurating 2 new e-initiatives for the learned advocates of the High Court of Orissa. First of those initiatives is the free Wi-Fi facility for the advocates of the High Court. The High Court of Orissa has installed access points all over the High Court campus and also in the Bar Association halls at several points. It has also provisioned 100 Mbps dedicated internet lease line so that multiple users can log in the same network without affecting the speed of any user. To access the internet, the advocate has to search for the advocate SSID in the device and click on it and enter the password to access the internet. To avoid congestion in the internet due to unauthorized usage, provision has been made that only the websites dedicated to the justice delivery system can be accessed through the internet. The websites are website of Honorable Supreme Court of India, website of the Honorable High Court of Orissa, official district court websites, e-filing portal, e-payment website, Zoom website, e-courts portal, OHC e-services, virtual court portal, NJDG portal, judgments portal of the Honorable Supreme Court of India, ESCR, any other website as approved. Secondly, the High Court of Orissa would be inaugurating the e-inspection facility for the pending records. Earlier, for the verification of the records, the advocates, as per the rules contained in Chapter 23 of the Rules of the High Court of Orissa, 1948, an advocate had to apply for the inspection through a format at the additional deputy registrar, and the learned advocate has to wait for the physical record to arrive at the concerned official and was able to inspect the record after multiple trips. Presently, with the active cooperation of the Office of the Advocate General, the High Court has scanned and digitized all the pending records of the High Court and also is scanning the disposed of records at the Record Room Digitization Center, and the scanning will be completed in the near future. After the inauguration of the e-inspection facility, the advocate will apply for the inspection and once approved will be able to see the records within minutes of the approval without having to wait for the record or having to make multiple trips to the concerned official. They will also be able to access the disposed of record which are already digitized at the RRDC. Advocates will have the option to view the case's records at the click of a button, and staff will also be allotted to the said official to help with the retrieval of the scanned records. We hope that the two initiatives would help the advocates in ensuring speedy and effective justice to the litigants through technology.
Thank you. It would be my utmost privilege to now request Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, to kindly present the inaugural address. Sir.
Pranam, very warm good evening to everyone. Justice Talapatra, Shri Ashok Parija, Shri Dharanidhar Nayak, Shri Chandan Swain, my very dear colleagues of the High Court, the senior advocates present here, the advocates of the bar, the registry officials, and my own team of registry officers who worked hard for this event. As Shri Parija was pointing out, in the last 2 years, many measures have been rolled out to ensure better access to justice to the litigants in Odisha. As lawyers and judges, I think our uppermost concern should be easing access to justice for the litigant, delivering better quality justice, more efficient justice. The COVID-19 pandemic told us many things about our own functioning of the courts. The positive side was, whether as lawyers or judges, we never stopped working because of the COVID-19 pandemic. We said we have to adapt to whatever is the changed system. Work should not stop. The wheels of justice should keep rolling. And I must say that we rose to the challenge. It was very heartening to see how many advocates risked a lot of their personal safety, but still took up cases, appeared, although in virtual mode, before the judges. And in equal measure, the judges responded so well. Both lawyers and judges who may not have been tech savvy used the COVID-19 pandemic to acquaint themselves better with technology, and nearly all of them could function rather well in the changed circumstances. So the COVID-19 pandemic told us as a judiciary that it is possible to use technology to ease our own working system. And what is nice as far as Odisha is concerned is, and I've heard this from many other high courts, that the system we have put in place here through a bit of a trial and error has worked very well, is working far better than many other high courts in the country. And I think the full credit for that should go to our own team of the IT cell in the High Court, our CPC, the earlier CPC, Shri Anupam Patra, the present CPC, Satya Prakash, and the NIC team headed by Mr. Subudhi. They've all worked non-stop, 24/7, to make sure that the functioning of the High Court as such does not come to a stop because of any emergency. Likewise, we were able to ensure even in the district courts that we do not stop the functioning of the courts. In equal measure, the judicial officers in the districts the lawyers in the districts were able to adopt technology and use the virtual hearing facilities. Encouraged by that, we introduced the e-filing facilities. And this happened almost 2 years ago. But I think what marked out Orissa from other states is our providing hands-on training to the lawyers, and not just to the lawyers, but to the munshis, the law clerks as well. We did not stop with just providing that hands-on training in the High Court, but we expanded the network of training facilities in the district courts as well. I personally had the occasion to visit each of the districts in Orissa just to launch the e-filing centers, the e-filing training facilities. And here again, I must say, both the lawyers in the High Court as well as in the district courts responded very well, participated in the training in large measure. The trainers were our own judicial officers. These were judicial officers who have been trained as master trainers, who were meant to train other judicial officers. But again, responding to the call of the High Court, many of these judicial officers, including the two who are here, Abhilash, who's comparing this occasion, Satya, who's our CPC, and many other such judicial officers who are master trainers, trained advocates. And we called them hands-on training because literally the trainer sat next to the advocate and handheld the advocate in accessing the website, accessing the devices, using the devices, teaching them how to do an e-filing. The E-Committee of the Supreme Court also, I must add here, has constantly been working at improving the system. See, this is something that we use more. The more we use, the more we learn about it. The more we learn about it, the better we know to use it. I think I use the analogy of driving a car. It's like getting a new car, but navigating the roads with that car, making sure that the car doesn't get damaged, that you are still following the rules, and at the same time you're deriving the best mileage for the car. So the more you use a system, you'll know how well the system works, you'll feel more comfortable using it. Is there a choice? Yes, maybe there is a choice, but people who use the system will tell you how much easier their own work has become compared to what they were doing some time ago. If you want to know in this High Court whether the system is comfortable, more than talking to the lawyers, I would urge you to talk to a registry. The High Court registry today, I'm proud to say, is perhaps the only in the whole country which has adopted technology so well and is very comfortable working in a paperless mode. They could have easily turned around and said, listen, this is not part of our job. Many of them are in the middle-aged category, let's say between 45 and 55. But this did not deter any of them. All the registry officials, all our Group C and some of even Group D staff have all learned how to use technology and are doing it very well. Personally, I think at a personal level, each of us have learned to live with this device called the mobile phone for the last 20 years or 20 years plus. I was talking to some of the officers this morning and said, when the mobile phone was given to each of us, we did not say, oh, we cannot use it till we are trained, till we are given tutorials, till you have coaching classes. We never made those demands. We said, let's try and see what is so special about it. Let's see how we can talk to somebody else using this phone. Let's see how we can text somebody a message. I may not know typing, but even a person who knows no typing is today able to use a smartphone to send a message. How did that happen? We didn't go to any coaching class. We probably learned it from the younger generation. We'd call our son or the grandson or a nephew or a niece and say, tell me how to do this. And they'll immediately tell you to do it. So technology, if it is useful to us, we will learn to use it. We will teach ourselves how to use it. And that is the same spirit I would urge all of you to approach the changes that are happening around us. The world has changed. Society has changed. Society has moved ahead. The judges have moved ahead. The lawyers must move ahead. The lawyers have no choice. I remember about 7 years ago in the Delhi High Court, some of the young law researchers, we are very fortunate as judges to have a very young generation of fresh law graduates come in to our courts to our chambers to help us with our judicial work, and they're very bright minds. So I was encouraged seeing the brightness of these young kids to devise a program called Tomorrow's Lawyer. Tomorrow's Court, Tomorrow's Lawyer. I can tell you what I thought of 7 years ago is already here today. So that is the change, the pace of change that is happening around us. They call it Moore's Law. The rate of change in technology is much quicker than you can imagine. We started with non-smartphones and we've switched on to smartphones so easily in a few years. Technology will always keep changing, it will improve. We must learn to use it. We must acknowledge that technology is a tool. It cannot substitute for what a human being can do in all spheres. It can do it in some spheres. Some routine functions, like there's a lot of talk of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence will help you organize yourself, to arrange the kind of cases that you have, to detect patterns in the kind of cases you have. Let's say Section 138 of Negotiable Instruments Act. There is a standard set of paragraphs you will have in a complaint. There is a standard set of responses you will have to those paragraphs in the complaint. There is a standard set of issues that will be dealt with by judges when they decide such complaints. So artificial intelligence will help you organize the board, arrange these issues for you, and help you detect what are common between all these cases. But the actual deciding of the case, only the judge has to do. The artificial intelligence will not do that. So as long as we use it as a tool, like today there's a lot of talk about ChatGPT. This is what ChatGPT does. It is an algorithm-based software which basically reads up machine reading. This is what we call machine reading. It reads up all that is available on the net and presents to you what is there. One judge, Justice Anup Chitkara in the Punjab and Haryana High Court, I'm sure all of you have read about it, just last week, he was preparing a bail order. So he asked ChatGPT, can you tell me what are the principles governing grant of bail when there is an unusually cruel assault? So he put some standard phrases, and ChatGPT gave him 2 paragraphs on what the legal position is. Now, Justice Chitkara has explained this whole process in the order that he's written, and yet he says that this is only a tool which can tell me what the law is. How to apply the law and what I should decide on the basis of the law is my task. I would urge all of you to read that order only to see where we are going forward as a judiciary, as a legal system, using technology to help ourselves work more efficiently. I would urge each of you as lawyers to look out for the best practices. We have several generations of lawyers. We have Mr. Nayak's generation, we have Mr. Parija's generation. We have the younger, the mid-rung generation. Maybe, the lawyers who are in their 30s to 40s and the lawyers who are less than 30. Each of us may adopt ourselves differently. We may respond to technology differently. But I think what we should all do is learn to see what are the best practices and try and adapt the best practices. We can talk to lawyers in other jurisdictions, in other states, and find out how do they organize themselves. Now, lawyers in Kerala have been doing e-filing in greater number than the lawyers in Orissa. We can find out what makes it easier for the lawyers in Kerala to do it. And we're already talking to the Kerala people to find out from our side how we can make the e-filing easier. Likewise, you can talk to lawyers in other jurisdictions to see how a lawyer is using tablets. You have some very senior advocates. I can take the name of Dr. Singhvi, Dr. Abhishek Singhvi, who comes with a tablet to the court. I don't know how many of you have seen the live streaming of the Constitution Bench of the Supreme Court. I'm happy to see that many of the senior lawyers have started adopting tablets. Even I think Mr. Kapil Sibal, I saw him use a tablet to address the court. All the judges sitting in the Constitution Bench are holding paperless courts. So, world is changing, the judiciary is changing, lawyers are changing the way they work. And I must tell you, and you should give him a good hand, your Advocate General last week used a tablet to argue a final hearing case before me. At his age, he was able to rise to the challenge and said, let me teach myself how to do this. And although he may have had a mental block till then, saying, oh, I don't know whether my arguments will flow well, I have had many lawyers tell me, till I touch the paper, the arguments don't flow. And there is a validity in that comment. But Mr. Parija said, let me try this and see if my arguments stop flowing. And I think it did not stop flowing because he used a tablet. So let us see what are the best practices. Let us adopt those best practices. The way you organize your office will be different. During our time, Justice Sarangi's time and my time, when we joined the bar, having space to stack files was very important. All those files after files, I'm sure in Mr. Nayak's office still all those files are there. If Mr. Nayak tomorrow decides, okay, the Chief Justice said something, let me try digitizing all the files. It will be very easy to give my juniors copies of the files. Today, Junior A is available. He has to go to the court. He's taken the file. It got very late. He's taken the file home. He has not come back. Next morning, Junior A who took the file is not available. Junior B has to go to the court. Mr. Nayak is searching for the file. If Mr. Nayak had digitized the file, he will simply say, take another soft copy of the file and go ahead. This is your tablet. Go ahead and argue the case. It becomes so much easier. I have lawyers, friends in Delhi who tell me today, when they travel to the court, they only travel with their tablet and a pen drive. Everything is contained in that tablet of theirs. It's a one, I don't know, there's so many tablets these days, not just the iPads, there are many other versions. The entire office can be carried on the iPad. There's something called liquid text. So I would urge Mr. Nayak to hold a workshop for the lawyers of the High Court on law and technology. They should know all the best practices of other lawyers being followed elsewhere. It will just help you practice far better. No tension of carrying books, carrying briefs. If this rains, worried whether the briefs will get wet, worried if I leave the brief in the court, somebody else should not take the brief and run away. All these things have happened to us. Books are there. I take 5 books to the court. Now I'm coming back with 4. I don't know who has stolen the 5th book. So these are all worries that we can get rid of if we learn to use technology for our own benefit. When we start looking for space to practice, we can comfortably do it from one table in our house. We can have conferences with clients, video conferences. We can look at the client's papers on screen. You will find the way of working will change. Not that you will become any less efficient, but actually you will become more efficient. You'll be able to perform far better and with far less stress and tension. This is what I believe the future of the law practice will be, and this is the way it will go. All our courts hopefully will become paperless very soon. Somebody like Justice Sarangi, who was resisting this change, last month told me, no, I have started looking at the computer. I have started looking at using the mouse. I have started reading it digitally. I should know what it is. So that curiosity is what each of us needs, the healthy curiosity to learn. There's no end, there's no limit to learning. So let us grab this opportunity with both our hands, improve ourselves, improve our functioning, improve our knowledge. There's enormous amount of information out on the net. Justice Talapatra was mentioning a few of those things. I would urge you to go and see the live streaming hearings of the UK Supreme Court, of many of the state Supreme Courts in the United States, of the Australian High Court, of the Canadian Supreme Court. You can actually, it is limitless. You can see a wonderful murder appeal argued in the Canadian Supreme Court, and you can learn perhaps something from that. So there's no limit to from where you can get good knowledge, and the internet actually makes it possible. Of course, there are negative uses of the internet, just like there are negative uses of all technology. There are problems of privacy, there's a problem of voyeurism, there's a problem of spamming. There's a problem of forwarding, getting caught because you forwarded some fake news. All that is there, but we have to, it's like learning to drive the car safely on a road which is very chaotic. So that is in your hands. How you use the technology, how well you use it, and for what you use it is entirely in your hands. All these facilities are there in your midst. We are adding 2 more facilities in that group of facilities. Use it to improve the system's functioning. And I'm sure in this 75th year of the High Court, It will be remembered as a year of transformation for the High Court in more ways than one. I'm very happy that the lawyers have responded so well. The term of the new office bearers have begun well, and I'm sure we'll work hand in hand to take the Orissa High Court to greater heights. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful address and for giving digitization a new lease of life in the High Court of Orissa and underlining the needs for digitization, technology, steps taken by the High Court in the field of digitization, and how we must adopt ourselves with the changing technology and the changing times so that we can work more efficiently. Thank you, sir. Now we proceed to the end of the program. So may I now request Shri Pratap Kumar Patra, Registrar General, High Court of Orissa, to kindly present the vote of thanks. Sir.
Namaskar. A very good evening to all. Honorable Chief Justice Dr. S. Muralidhar, Honorable Justice Subhasis Talpatra, Judge, High Court of Orissa and Chairman, IT and AI Committee, Honorable Judges of the Dais, Sri A.K. Parija, Advocate General, Sri Dhanadhar Naik, President, High Court Bar Association, Sri Chittaranjan Swai, Secretary, High Court Bar Association, Sri P.K. Pari, Deputy Solicitor General of India, members of the High Court Bar Association, members of the Registry. It is indeed my privilege to present vote of thanks on this momentous occasion. I would like to extend our thanks to Dr. S. Muralidhar, Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, who has been the driving force behind all the IT initiatives of this court. It is the vision of our Chief Justice that has brought High Court of Orissa in the forefront of the technological advancement in the country. It was His Lordship's vision that every advocate should have Wi-Fi facility to access internet in the court campus that has led to this day. His vision to extend the access to digitized records to the advocates has resulted in opening of this e-inspection center. Thank you, sir. We are grateful to Honorable Justice Subhasis Talpatra, Judge, High Court of Orissa, and Chairman of the IT and the AI Committee, and also the Honorable Judges of the Committee for guiding the IT team to make this launch possible. Thank you, Lordships. We are immensely grateful to the Honorable Judges of our High Court who, despite their busy day in the court, have taken time to attend this program. Thank you, my lords. We are thankful to learned Advocate General, Sri A.K. Parija, not only for his presence and his kind words, but also his active cooperation in all the e-initiatives of the High Court. Thank you, sir. We are grateful to Sri Dhanadhar Naik, President, High Court Bar Association, and Sri Chittaranjan Swai, Secretary, High Court Bar Association, for their cooperation, kind words in this launch, and we also seek their support to go ahead in all the e-initiatives of the High Court. Thank you, sirs. We are indeed grateful to the members of this August Bar Association who are the pillars of the justice delivery system, and for their continued support. All the High Court initiatives are helping a lot to the justice delivery system and becoming more accessible to public. We are thankful to OCAC for implementing the Wi-Fi facility in the High Court campus and making it operational in such a short time. We are thankful to the Central Project Coordinator and his team for the technical support. We thank our staff for making the launch a success and all others who have contributed for it. We thank Brother Abhilash Senapati, Registrar Records, for nicely presenting the inaugural session and all other sessions in a patient and composed manner. We also thank the media personnel for their continued support, and I hope that they carry the court's vision to the general public like they have always done. Thank you. I thank the chair for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. May I now seek the permission of the Honorable Chair to declare the inaugural program as closed, sir. Thank you, sir. Now the ceremony is declared closed.